This is the Finesse Media Podcast.
I am making sure I'm keeping up with my people from UAPB. I'm bringing them on every season. We're going to have a bunch of UAPB folks. Back another episode for the Finesse Media Podcast, Season 5. I'm your host, Ken Finesse Media, and I'll tell y'all, as I say every week, I'm bringing you something brand new, but this week, y'all, I'm bringing you someone brand new. So he's from the Midwest area, as I mentioned, from Pine Bluff, but from the Midwest area, y'all know I'm a Chicago man. So this guy's from Detroit, Michigan. He called himself the 6 Mile Legend. We're going to get into all that too. He's a rapper, he's a dad. I mean, he's a recently husband. I don't know why his picture didn't go viral, but the wedding was crazy. Let me not continue to take who this man is not. Welcome to the podcast, because who he is Jordan Daniel Rowley. Sharon the Don, welcome to the podcast for the first time, bro.
Got you. Hey, thank you. So Pete,
and if I messed anything up, let me know.
Got you. So it's Jordaniel Riley's the government name. My artist name is Jordanelle. And then it's like AKA the Shinron Don, like a nickname is Shinron Don. Yeah,
Shinron Don. I was calling you the 6 Mile Legend. What that is, man. So you from the east side of Detroit, people. Let folks know who you are, man, for people that's introduced to you for the first time.
Got you. So what's up, world? It's your boy Jordanelle, AKA the 6 Mile Legend, born and raised on the east side of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? 6 Mile is the neighborhood that I spent most of my time growing up in. Really molded me, aided in molding me into the, person you see right now, as far as everything that I just learned from, family, friends, my neighborhood and everything like that. So that's where that name came from. And UAPB graduate. Shouts out to my dog, Ken.
For sure. And I want to not stop you, but start right there real quick before we get all the way into, Jordanelle and the brand, the Sharon the Don, the rapper. But when did you find out Sharon the Don?
Shinron Don, or just call me Jordanelle, or even
Sharon Don. He said, listen, man, I got too many aliases. Just pick one, Ken. Pick one, Ken, and roll it out. Don't try to keep saying it all. All right, Jordanelle. We're going to keep it rolling with Jordanelle. But when I saw you, of course, again, at the campus of the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, alma mater, again, as you mentioned. But, I mean, how did you even end up at UAPB, man, all the way from Detroit?
Oh, man. So, Pete, I played in a band. Shout
out to M4.
Absolutely. I played in a band. So in all actuality, I was able to audition. Mr. Graham ended up coming to Detroit. He was auditioning at a few schools. My band director ended up calling me because I was back at home. Band director ended up calling me like, I need you to come up here to audition. And I actually recently told this story, which is crazy. Ended up calling me to audition, but at the time, me and the mother of my child, we were almost just kind of like, new parents, very young. So it was like, you go to school this day, I go to school this day, like just really trying to figure it out. So this is the day that she was in school and I was at home, and I had baby girl. And he's like, yeah, I need you to come so you can audition. I'm like, well, I don't have a sitter. I'm here. Da, da, da. He's like, don't worry about it. Waited about 10 minutes, called me back. And he was like, yeah, Andre about to come pick you up. Now, Andre is a student. Andre might have been in the 11th, maybe 10th grade at the time.
Oh, wow.
And he came because obviously the senior. So, I'm able to audition. So he ended up driving, coming to pick me up, picked up me and baby girl, got there almost right before Mr. Graham was leaving. I was able to get in there, run a few scales. And then he was like, you got a full tuition scholarship. And, that summer, I was MPB.
No, that's dope. And shout out to Graham, because he did that a lot, coming through the Midwest, just snatching up people, man. I'm from Chicago, and, it was part of that tornado of the marching musical machine when he came through recruiting a bunch of folks out of the Midwest. And as we mentioned, you're the Midwest 6 Mile Legend from the east side of Detroit, Michigan. They say it's cold in the D. That goddamn song. But they say it's cold in the D, man. But listen, 6 Mile Legend. So you grew up, and again, having those grassroots in Detroit and stumping the grounds, but becoming a musical artist and a talent. When did you first realize that you had the talent to even, do what you're doing?
Very early on. Obviously, I was music has always been in me, obviously with the band, but I started playing in the band in 4th grade in elementary school.
Mm.
And then once it got deeper into as far as like rapping, it was probably 10th grade where it was like, you know what? I got a voice, I can do this.
Yeah.
And it was really, so I'll say from like the 10th grade was when I knew like rapping was something I can do. But as far as music, man, it's been like all through my family. Cousins were in band, uncles were in band. It was just like a thing, So I just
And
followed in those footsteps.
Respect to Detroit when I say this, because that shit is a real thing, and we'll get into your music, because what I love about you, bro, is that your music, like the music I love, like the conscious music, right? That music that's going to have you thinking, the metaphors that you're going to give, a real lyricist, not a rapper. So respectfully, when I say this, and as another music lover, I respect the art so much, but I say this, man, really, when you're thinking about the talent that you have coming out of Detroit, it's really in the water, man. Everybody in Detroit got talent. It's been that way. I know they trying to mess up the water is what I was saying or was going to say, but the water in Detroit, it must be. I mean,
it's
that talent, man, that talent is serious. That talent is serious. There's been a lot of people, as you know, that came up out of Detroit, from that 6 Mile, 8 Mile. Shout out to Eminem from that area. But I mean, you're at UAPB, you're in the band, and you're matriculating, and you're really stepping on the campus, making a big name for yourself. Like at that point now, you're at the campus and you're doing, the performances for the events that they're having on campus. Like, how was that feeling? Like having your own peers really like cheer you on, because even after graduation, people continue to support you and follow your career. Me, right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
So it's like, how was that moment for you when you were on campus as an undergrad cat from Detroit, came all the way there from, from the band, but then also made a name outside the band? What was that feeling like?
Man, I will say it was great. Almost like an outer body experience, because that was something that at my age, I couldn't really do back home. Like in my like high school years, I couldn't really just like, oh, I want to perform here. It was like, it had to be a talent show. And then it took months for one of those to happen. And then I had to make sure I had the courage to do it. And then I had, it was just so many elements. But once I got on the campus, it was just kind of like, oh, this is going on. Oh, they're looking for performers for this, or this, or that. And it was just like several things where I can have my hands into it once. And I was able to showcase my talent, able to share this gift that I have with my peers. Yeah. And it felt like euphoric almost, it was just kind of like one of those things. It's like, I can do this and go to school and be in a band.
Right. It's a win-win.
Yeah, man. So it was just great, man. Just an amazing experience, man, being able to really tap into it.
And Jordanelle, really about what I say about artists, I work with some artists closely, and again, just a love of music. One of the key things about just a talent is just having that it factor. And that's that, to me, the it factor is really being able to move the crowd in an energetic way. And that's what you give in every performance. And I think even with your message, you're giving the message in such an amplified way that it's catchy. I'm going to get into these tracks, and you got the EP that you just dropped early part of, doing these albums. And again, just being that huge talent, it's coming up out of Detroit, but you launched this EP, the top of the year of this year. So, talk to me and our viewers about that EP, which is called I Love Being Black, which the first track is entitled I Love Being Black. And that thing really kicks off, dude, in a super amplified way. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma. You're a member on Phi Mu Alpha fraternity.
Mama always said, watch them pigs, they don't like me. If you lay a finger on my man, shoot like Spike Lee. Get so much attention from my skin, it excite me. Tell them that I love being black, mesmerizing. Yeah.
Listen, it definitely made me want to hop right when they came on. That's how you kick an album off. That's how you kick an album off. And by the way, let me just go back to say the great progression. My favorite track on that is Guns and Girls Do. That chorus is the other part, because I'm in Texas, I'm in Dallas. It gave me that kind of
chopped and screwed type.
Chopped and screwed mix, dude. So no, man. So this EP, I Love Being Black, which again, I also love about your artistry, because you make it unapologetically known that we are kings and queens.
Absolutely.
Too. Shout out to my sisters out there. So we kings and queens, and a message that you're pushing through. And I got a question kind of asking you about the reason you choose to always stay in that path, but talk about the EP, I Love Being Black.
Okay. So the EP was actually, being completely honest, a long time coming. I have been working on it with my brothers for a minute. Notorious Tuh, he's the artist on the EP with me, and the producer Quasi.
Man, Quasi, gotta ask you about that talented dude, because dude, he is snapping. He on every track holding it down for you. I say, wait, I gotta figure out who is this dude that's on every track, because he is making it happen. And then you say your other brother, Huey Hampton. Huey Hampton is holding it down with you.
So Huey Hampton is is the group name. So the group name is Huey Hampton.
Oh, okay.
But definitely it's Quasi, producer, Notorious Tuh, artist, Jordan L, artist. Put us all together, almost like Captain Planet.
Mr. Nelson, Ray Nelson holding it down. Shout out to Quasi. Ray Nelson holding it down. I say, I got to go through the credits. I say, wait, he on this one too? He on this one too? So shout out to the producer. I'm sorry, I just got to give him some shout out too. But so talk about the EP.
I love it, man. But like I said, a long time coming. Initially, we created quite a few songs for the EP. And it started, during the pandemic, pre-pandemic, when, I'm saying, us as Black people were going through a lot of things as far as like George Floyd situation, a lot of protests going on, and a lot of just like negative energy was being put out there. And it was just kind of like, how can we spin this? So when we first started writing and recording, it was all based on, bad experiences with cops, getting pulled over, cops getting the wrong impression, thinking you're reaching for a gun, but it's a wallet. And it became really like rah. And it was just like, where can we find the art in this? So we took a second, took a deep breath, took a step back, went back to it and got to work, and was able to kind of pick from the things that we had and create a little bit more and say, let's make this about how much we love being ourselves, not about all the pain that is caused by anybody else. Let's put this light on who we are as a people and really grow from it and grow with it. Yeah. And that's where the whole EP pretty much came from. It was just like, let's give them the bars, let's give them the fun, let's give them the facts, and let's be unapologetically who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's a fun one. And even the way that you title the songs, because first I said, what's LL? I said, what's ILBB? I said, damn, that's I Love Being Black. Then the next track is Freedom Ring. And I was like, wait, really? I had to listen to it, because at first when I looked at it, I go, I don't know what that is. So I'm listening to it, I go, wait, that's freedom. And then so that's, that's dope too. And that's another message in the song of just talking about, hey, being unapologetically Black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and also actually a small tidbit, we kind of like wove a lot of our history into everything. So like, even with the titles, how you mentioned, I'm glad you mentioned it, glad you noticed that. During slavery, a lot of times, like they would weave messages into the quilts and stuff, when it was like time to ride, time to dip, you know what I'm saying, time to figure out who was where. They were able to do that. So it was like, how can we kind of like tie those kind of like messages into the project to where it's like, you won't know unless you ask, or unless you already knew beforehand. And that was one of the things. It was just kind of like, let's just make it a little bit harder to decipher for the normal person unless they listen to it and understand it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was one of those things. So I appreciate that, man. No, thank you.
Absolutely. I'm watching it all. You listen, I'm watching it all. I think for, again, as a music connoisseur, dude, it's a little bit deeper than that, but it was obvious, because I was like, wait, this word is not clear to me. So I was like, wait, what is this, title? What is the title of the song? And I'm glad that you mentioned and talked about kind of like that generational, struggle and kind of how the messaging was, because we did kind of sing through message and, those hymns and stuff that a lot of the fraternities, as we mentioned, we're a part of, have adapted really and kind of made it our own chant and our mantra, which kind of brings it to my next question, because another one of my favorite songs that I listen to by you is Swim Lessons. And in that song, man, you actually say something about generational wealth that I have to pull this quote from, because in this song, you said, generational wealth is more appealing to us all. My daughter asked for books. Last year, she wanted dolls. Like, in that moment, I'm thinking, wow, this guy's educating and empowering his young, soon-to-be queen, but young daughter, you know what I mean, about generational wealth, and saying, hey, last year she wanted dolls, but this year she wanted books.
Yeah.
So am I interpreting that wrong, or kind of like swim lessons, man?
No, it's absolutely correct. Like swim lessons is obviously like you tap right into it. So swim lessons is a metaphor for knowledge. You know what I'm saying? The sea of knowledge.
Yeah.
Is a book. So I'll teach her how to swim. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. I'll give you this book. And then it's like now this book has grown legs and you have grown into, you know what I'm saying, your mind from this and you want to know more. So now this little lake or this pond is turning into a sea, which is turning into an ocean of knowledge that is out there for you to know. So it's like it's swim lessons, you know, let me help you. Let me teach you what I know so you can go ahead and be swimming across the globe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's deep, man. That's dope. So no, I love that. That's one of my other favorite tracks, Swim Lessons. How important, Jordanelle, how important is making music for our young generation, or how important is it for you to inspire our young generations versus while making the music you make versus catering to the mainstream type of music? How important is that to you?
It's very important, man. Another great question, man. You killing it. You killing it, bro. I will say it's very important because 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 40 years from now, when they're talking about, you know what I'm saying, the state of music, and they're kind of like in that kind of like mode of, well, you know, back in the day we had, because, you know, we went through like a whole 3-year span of, you know, people complaining about music wholeheartedly, saying, oh, man, if Biggie was alive, if Tupac was alive.
21 Savage said Nas was irrelevant. I was like, what the But the track they got on afterwards, did you hear that though?
What? Wait, who?
21 Savage and Nas is on the track together.
Really?
Post that situation. And so in the lyric he addresses, I'm not saying rappers, and I'm gonna get back to your question, I'm sorry to interrupt, but in the lyric, and I'm paraphrasing, but in the lyric of that song, he said that, hey, I'm not saying rappers that are legends are irrelevant, because once you reach legendary status, it's not a relevancy thing. And then Nas come and give some lyric behind it. So yeah, look it up. I don't have the title for it, but I saw it on the Shade Room like 2 days ago. I love that they came together after that whole, they wanted to make them feud together. But no, you're right. Go back to your question. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, man. No, man. What pretty much just even with that, like that understanding, because there are artists who kind of like who just really had that one track mindset, you know, like, oh, I need to make this kind of music and I need to, you know what I'm saying, look at older artists who have a more conscious mind or anything like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a rap, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not listening to that, I'm not banging that, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not, and the third. But it kind of takes me back, I'm sorry, to my point, because now I'm kind of like rambling, but just kind of takes me back to my point of how important it is. It's very important to me because when you have artists with the mindset of a 21 Savage, or people with the mindset of a 21 Savage who are saying, you know what I'm saying, oh, this artist is not that, this artist is that, X, Y, and Z, it kind of leads you to believe that your art can really withstand that test of time, because it's like, just as quick as 21 Savage was able to say, oh, Buddy is irrelevant, you know what I'm saying, when Nas is irrelevant, you know what I'm saying, granted, he hopped on the record and stuff afterwards, but there were droves of people saying, you know what I'm saying, no, like, this man's lyrics changed my life. This man's lyrics shaped, you know what I'm saying, the city, shaped the culture, like who he is and who he was, and not even who he was, like who he is now, and just from his music from the past. So it's important for me to be able to be that light for someone, even if it's just one person, even if it's a million people, like, just to be able to be that light for it to be, yo, this lyric, Swim Lessons, really got me through a tough time, because I didn't really understand it until I listened to it X, Y, and Z times. Guns and Girls, oh, that it's smack, you know what I'm saying? Because the hook is crazy, and then on top of that, you preaching. You let them know what it is, you know what I'm saying, and you kicking it to them straight. So it is important for me to, one, stay on that straight and narrow, stay on that path, not even so much like super, because I know a lot of people look at conscious artists like, oh man, they always preaching, they this, say that. Like, you can have fun and you can still kick the truth. You know what I'm saying? I call it conscious with a kick almost. Like, you're able to do that and still be able to give your message to the masses, allow them to have fun in it, and allow them to come back to it 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and still that message still be relevant in that day. Or that piece of the past is almost like a history lesson. You know what I'm saying? So that's why that's why it's important to me.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also important to give people their goddamn flowers when you know that they are finessing the game, for sure. Which is another track I love, by the way, because listen, my grandmother was my person. You understand me?
Hey,
Well, she is. I'm saying was, but so my other grandmother that's in heaven, but my grandmother living too. She's really one that gives me my flowers. I wear this because my aunt, who recently passed this year, was someone that, hey, when she was alive, we should have given her flowers while she was alive. So that was another track, from you that I love, man, because what you talk about on that track and giving people their flowers while they're here, for sure. But before you get up out of here, man, because I know you're busy and you might got to get back in the lab and work on some things, but people giving flowers is also what I do each and every week on this podcast. I talk to people like yourself that's finessing the game. So again, thank you for joining this episode tonight, because again, Jordan L., you're someone that I say that's finessing the motherfucking game, hands down. And I continue to say and will say, support this brother, because I will be supporting. But who's that person for you that you say that's finessing the game?
That is finessing the game.
Who's that person? That one person that comes to mind when you think that someone that's doing and maybe working as hard as you are, and if it's even a brand that you support, but who's for you that you say who's that person for you that you say that's finessing the game?
Well, I got two, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
That's good.
Notorious Tuh and Quasi.
Yeah.
Hard working, finessing the game, making that magic happen, no questions asked. My brothers, day in and day out, they gonna make it happen. So I would say them two right there, Notorious Tuh and Ray Quasi Nelson, forever finessing the game, for real.
That's what's up. So get those folks their flowers for sure, man, because that's what it's all about. And last question, man, what I'm doing on this season is I'm pulling my guests on because, again, you're somebody that's finessing the game. But while you're here, I'm digging into your social media, your Instagram page, or your social media pages in general, and I'm finding something. And I'm just trying to figure out what the hell was this about. So I'm gonna show you the photo that I pulled from your social media, and I just want you to explain what this photo is all about before we get up out of here, Jordan. Yeah, I gotta take it back. You a legend. You hold it down.
Oh, okay.
It's what you posted, so it's nothing I'm pulling. No, I like this part because people go, man, I don't know if I should have posted that. And he done found it, but this one I think is gonna be pretty good. So I found this on your social media page. Let me and my viewers know what this photo is about. Here we go.
I knew it.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
So, one of my good brothers, Lloyd Williams, he's actually one of my line brothers. Him and his wife had shirts like a couple of days before Halloween. And then they said, I come in peace. And her said, I'm peace. And it took me a second to get it. And then I got it. So I hit him up like, yo, I'm about to put a little spin on it. But me and the wifey gonna wear something like that for Halloween. Yeah. Ended up being out late at night, bro. Found these like little nerd kind of like costume joints. It was like $5 sale. I'm like, I got me a little press when it pressed up the shirts. Put it together, man. It was a hit. I'm gonna tell you, man.
No, for real. Listen, you have a lot of photos out there. Listen, this is what I had questions on. I said, no, it ain't any of the other ones. It has nothing to do with the music. I'm like, the wedding photos, which, by the way, I've been showing throughout this episode, so people have been seeing the beautiful photos. Because again, man, y'all shut it down. The Rileys.
Thank you.
You literally had the Rileys in the background. Like it was a whole situation. Like, so yeah, y'all holding it down. I've been showing the photos, so that's not what I had questions about. I love love. I'm married for 9 years, my brother. I understand it. And I'm also a dad. So shout out to you also for holding it down in the dad arena as well, as a Black man and as a husband. So salute to you and your wife and your queen. But y'all was looking silly as hell in these photos. So I said, what the hell was they doing? No, man, for sure. But Jordan L., for sure, as I say that, I am continuing to support you, my brother, and you in LA. We've talked so much about being from Michigan, but you're in LA holding it down, ripping those streets in LA for sure. So let people know how they can keep up with you, support you if they're in LA, if you got anything coming up, how they can attend, and support, what your artistry is going to bring. How can they do it?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, y'all can hit my website, jordanl.net. That's jordanl.net. literally spelled exactly how it sounds. And Jordanelle Music on all social media. So anything that I have going on, whether it's dealing with clothing, whether it's dealing with music, events, crazy shirts, anything like that, it'll be there, man. Jordanelle Music, you can definitely find me. And Jordanelle.net, that's the centralized hub. So,
that's what's up. And if you didn't catch all that, just screenshot it because it's right there at the bottom. So you'll be able to just screenshot it. Go ahead and support my brother, man, my alumni brother, my Greek brother, my Midwest brother, my August brother. This nigga's born August the 20th. I said, damn, he could have been a Virgo.
I feel like I lucked up.
I'm August the 26th, man. So I know you holding down for the Lions and stuff like that, man. So it's all good, though. But support this black man for sure, for sure. Salute to you, King. Come back. You got to come back on the podcast, man.
Hey, man, I will. Listen, man, anytime you need me, anytime I'm about to drop something, you getting the first call.
Man, hit me up.
I'm going to let you know, man, and then we set it up.
I love exclusives. I love exclusives. And so I respect the art. Again, as a music connoisseur, I'll treat it nice. In fact, before you get up out of here, I won't do it on air. I want you to hear something. Someone dropped something on me, and I want you to hear it as a musician. He wants the feedback. So, man, definitely support my brother Jordan L. I'm going to say it, Sharon the Don, 6 Mile Legend. What else I got? Jordan Daniel Riley. We going to say them all before we get out of here. Now, Jordan L., my brother, support my dude and support this king, man. He is making moves. He is definitely not the mainstream in a sense of the message that don't make sense. The music is certainly going to make you think. And that's what I love about good artistry, whether it's coming from the lyrics of a poet or if it's coming from the lyrics of a rapper. I love the art, man. So I respect the art. Thank you, Jordan L., for joining the Finesse Media Podcast. You got to come back. This is season 5. I'm your host, Ken Finesse Media. And I'll see you next week. I'll see you next week with something brand new. Peace.
Peace.
For sure, for sure.
I know they stressing you out at your job, they don't see the you that I see. They always question you, they put the Y before the UNIT. Co-workers want to touch your hair cause it's elevated, get you closer to God. The playing field ain't even cause you melanated, but you beating the odds. You had a weight of the world on your shoulders, the source of light between your thighs. You on the front line for us, on the front line for you, see the God in your eyes. See the resilience, the energy building, the presence, the delicate side. You give me Queen Amina vibes, forever ready to ride. They say they trying to understand you, Mo. Yeah. But they don't really have a plan to make you feel insecure. Yeah.
This has been another edition of the Finesse Media Podcast. Join us again next week for the latest news from HBCUs. Special guest